So we are at week 5 is just wrapped up in the NFL, and we are at bye week season. So we got teams that are having bye weeks. One of the teams that was on a bye this past week was the Cleveland Browns. They watched the AFC North just do what the AFC North does, which is never makes sense, and the Baltimore Ravens losing to Pittsburgh, and we talked all about all that yesterday. And one of the stories that we kind of threw out there was, Deshaun Watson and this shoulder injury and this issue that he had. Like, they got the Niners coming up. And after what we saw the Niners do to Dallas on primetime and what they've done to everybody, I wonder if Deshaun Watson would just not play in this game either, because he was medically cleared to play the previous week against Baltimore and opted not to, that according to his head coach, Kevin Stefanski. And so, Stefanski was asked about it yesterday, and Stefanski just said, hey, listen, he's day-to-day. He's working to get better. And when asked whether or not he's optimistic about it, Stefanski just declined to comment and just say, yeah, we're just working through this, trying to get better every single day. So I'm a little confused, because if the shoulder was healthy enough that he was medically cleared, but he decided not to play, I would assume the bye week would do his body good and he would be ready to go this next week. The fact that this is even still a question or even up in the air, we were joking yesterday, but it seems like there's a legitimate possibility he might miss this week as well, too.
Who do they play this week, Jonas?
That's the 49ers.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want them coming in our house. No, you don't want that abuse.
So either Stefanski gave out bad info last week and said he was medically cleared when he wasn't, or Deshaun Watson just doesn't want to play.
Or he got medically unclear during the clarity. Like somewhere in between the clear and unclear, something could have happened.
Oh, so he got cleared and then he got a second opinion.
Does this involve clear, like at the airports? Is that what we're talking about?
It could have involved clear at the airport.
He went through clear. There's a miscommunication. Stefanski was like,
that's
Deshaun, do you have clear? And he's like, yeah, I go through clear all the time. They're like,
you don't have to take anything off anything.
Yeah, it's actually a nice service.
Yeah, what's the difference between clear and TSA pre-check?
TSA pre-check. The only difference is you just have to get your ID checked when you go through. With clear, they do it beforehand. So you just kind of walk by the TSA department.
That's sweet.
Yeah. The problem is it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to take stuff off, though. You have to have TSA pre and clear in order for that to be the case.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Well, listen, Deshaun Watson maybe doesn't have either. So because I just want to know what happened in the course of...
What did happen, Jonas?
He was medically cleared, and then he decided he just didn't want to play. What happened in the hour before kickoff against Baltimore that Deshaun Watson decided, I can't give it a go? And I wonder, how the hell is this landing in Cleveland with not only people in the locker room, but also fans there who are going, dude, are you serious? Like, this is where...
You know what I think it is?
What's that?
Yeah, well, what is it? Yeah, what do you think it is? Huh?
I think Deshaun Watson is just. I
had to cough to cover up laughter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I think that really in the scenario that he finds himself in, he's got to make sure that he's 100% healthy, because y'all don't allow for him to do the rehab processes that he has done in the past that has allowed him to play at the highest of levels that he's played at. So if he's not going to be cleared to be able to prepare and recover and stay supple the way that he has successfully done it, y'all can't possibly expect him to be the same type of player that he once was.
Great point.
That's fair. What I want to know is why Jonas, I wonder what Cleveland just tell us what you want to say, Jonas, instead of throwing out the question.
Well, I'm not a Cleveland Brown fan. So I wonder how this lands with them, because I think there are some Cleveland Brown fans who are just going to be loyal no matter what happens.
Why are you calling Cleveland Brown? They're the Browns. It's plural.
Well, listen, call them what I want to
It's like Cleveland Brown.
Like basically you got to be of a certain background to be able to be.
What's up with that?
Let me tell you something.
Part of who they are.
If your franchise leaves and goes and wins 2 Super Bowls elsewhere, then you get to be called whatever I call you. That's what I say.
That's kind of jacked up.
Wow.
That did happen.
Bang, bang.
In real life.
Bang, bang.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, no one from the Knox.
This would piss me off If I was a member of the roster and I'm looking around going, dude, you sat out against Baltimore when we needed you. A rookie got thrown under the bus and we got waxed at home. And then we got an opportunity to play the Niners and really see where we're at as an organization. And still, this is a question mark. If he doesn't play, somebody's lying.
Can I be honest with you from my interpretation from Browns fans? And look, maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe they can hit us up on social media and tell me otherwise. From the Browns fans I've talked to, they're in on Deshaun because they feel like it gives them a chance to get the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. So despite whatever happened before he got there, despite this sort of thing, they're all in. They're like, yeah, but he's really good when he's healthy. So like, there's always kind of that like excuses. Yeah, well, that was the guy when he was in Houston. He doesn't do all that massage stuff anymore. Like, there's always an excuse. So my feeling has been the fan base is bought in because they understand that they have to be bought in because this is what the future looks like. This Browns team is led by Deshaun Watson. They made a huge financial commitment to him. And whether they hit it this year or not, it doesn't matter. They're not moving on from him. So maybe it's just more he's playing the long game. He feels like he's protected. He can take his time to come back and be 100%. And mind you, he hasn't looked great this year. So if that's the case, maybe he feels like he doesn't want to go back out there and look how he did finishing the season last year, which wasn't great.
He hadn't looked great in 3 years.
Well, yeah. And I think that's the problem is, as far as the Browns fans' perspective, they don't care. They just remember the year that he played really great and people called him a top 5 quarterback. That's all they want to talk about. Hey, but when he's healthy, he's a top. Okay, well, he's not healthy. So that's where they're at. That's at least the Browns fans that I've talked to about it, because there is no other option. We already sold DTR. It was a tough spot duty for him as a rookie, but that was a glimpse as far as what it could look like. So they've made their bed, now they're going to lay in it. And this is, this is what happens when you give a guy $230 million fully guaranteed, is he can make these sort of decisions. And if you're Kevin Stefanski, what do you say to him? Deshaun Watson has better job security in Cleveland than Kevin Stefanski. So what can Kevin Stefanski say to Deshaun Watson that motivates him or makes him want to play?
Yeah, come on, LaVar. What can you say?
What can you say? I mean, what did Prime say? Must be the money. Like, I don't know. What the motivation would be to probably try to salvage your career and salvage your reputation as a player.
Okay, but his career's not going to end after this year.
True. Well. Here's all I'm saying is I'm just trying to make sense of where we're at with it right now. What would be the motivation as it would stand? I mean that would kind of have to only be the only thing it is, right?
Can I throw this?
If that matters to him.
Let me throw this at you. Has Baker Mayfield had a better year than Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
Okay.
So far,
all right.
Yeah.
Has Josh Dobbs had a better year than Deshaun Watson?
Oh. Yes, so far.
Yeah.
Okay. And they traded him because they wanted to go with DTR as the backup quarterback there, so much so that the GM, I think it was the GM, was asked last week if they had any reservations about trading away Josh Dobbs 2 weeks before the season. So this is a guy who's getting paid $230 million guaranteed, and a backup who they traded away to Arizona is having a better year than him. And the guy they got rid of so they could get him for $230 million guaranteed is having a better year than him. And Browns fans are just going to wear it when he decides he doesn't want to play against Baltimore and maybe doesn't want to play against San Francisco. That's just there's committed, and then there's that. I don't know, man. And to Brady's point, they don't really have any other options, so you deal with what you get to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, look,
contracts.
Cleveland may draft someone this offseason, but again, they just drafted DTR. There's no one putting pressure on Deshaun Watson when you have a contract like that. And I'll be honest, like I've heard from some front office perspectives, it's one of the reasons why until you have a guy that's really solidified himself as a dude, or as the young kids say, as him, I'm him. Until you have a quarterback who has done that at your spot, who's I'm him, then you can go ahead and give him that huge contract. Because once you give him the huge contract, there's really not much you can say. You hope that contract is a partnership as you work together. But the difference is Cleveland and the Haslam family, who obviously paid for Deshaun Watson to come there, that was the incentive to go to Cleveland. Now, granted, I've heard it was Atlanta people talked about. I've heard from some other folks it was going to be the Saints. Whatever the case is.
Oh, New Orleans was in the mix too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was told by someone. Whatever the case is, it doesn't matter in the end because they offer him the best contract. He took it. It's life-changing. It's generational wealth. We get that. But that's what they did to get him there. But he doesn't have any earned equity with them. He's still trying to earn that. But I don't think that he cares to right now. The contract's the contract. He's playing the long game. He's like, yeah, if I'm not 100%, I'll just, sit out till I am.
I mean, he should do the right thing and give Phil Dawson his jersey back, personally.
Wow.
I mean, we're going to be fair about
that's
this.
that's the four that I knew.
Yep.
Yeah. Clutch. Love Phil.